Meta is innovating with an AI version of Mark Zuckerberg to connect better with employees, while also set to surpass Google in digital ad revenue by this year, according to new projections. Let's bring in Dr. Karen Sutherland from the University of the Sunshine Coast. All right, Meta creating an AI version of Mark Zuckerberg. What does that mean?
Well, it means that they're creating I think it's going to be an AI video avatar that people can interact with, and that will be trained on all of, I guess, his meeting notes and all of his video recordings and all of those things. So then people can actually interact with him and ask him questions and things like that. So if you are not in senior management and don't get access to him, you probably soon will, but it'll be an AI-powered version of him.
Is this a sign that senior management aren't doing their job, that really this is a company run by one person and it's one person's mind? I mean, what message does this send?
Well, I mean, I guess it just means that he's trying to be more accessible to staff, because normally the person at the top of the company is far removed from the people on the front line. And so that's what I'm thinking. He's trying to make himself more accessible. So it's sort of a new take on internal communication, because I'm sure you've seen when you get the emails, well, you are the CEO, so I don't know what you do, but you get an email from the CEO and it's got a video embedded in it, and then it'll just to give the messages for that month or whatever. But this means you'll be able to actually interact and ask it questions about the company, advice and things like that, and it'll be trained on his information to be able to give that advice.
Yeah, it feels kind of funny, doesn't it? The idea of this being the way. I mean, it's like you're writing to someone pretending it's them, but we all know that it's not them. So how does AI Zuckerberg actually interact with employees? How does it work?
Well, I think it will be more they interact with him. He's trained it so he doesn't have to do those sort of video addresses anymore, you know, and this isn't a new thing. I know quite a few people in digital marketing who have created AI avatars of themselves, and some of them even go off and speak at conferences, and they're not even, they just give it the notes and send it off if it's a virtual conference, and they don't even do it anymore. So I know someone who has a YouTube channel, and it's all their AI video avatar that does all the videos, and it's actually performing really well. So I guess it's how well you train it, and I guess he's trying to free up his time maybe and be more accessible at the same time.
Yeah, and what, I guess, mannerisms and tones are being trained into the AI? I mean, is this going to be something that when you ask it a question, it's going to kickbox you back or something, like Mark Zuckerberg would?
I have no idea, but I know, like, I've created an AI avatar and using HeyGen, and it depends on how much video you give it to train on. It tends to just read, mine just does this a lot because that's clearly what I did in the video. So it depends on the video you give it to train it on. So I guess the more video you give it, it'll include more mannerisms. So
is it essentially also a sign to say to employees that AI is now so important to Meta that we even have an AI version of the boss? Is it just as simple as that to, I guess, give a signal to employees as to what the company deems as important?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's leading by example, isn't it? And by showing that, you know, it's a top-down approach, which in many organisations, let me tell you, it is not. It's not a top-down approach. So, yeah, and I mean, employees and Meta staff have been encouraged to really lean into AI, even encouraging the use of OpenClaw. I remember seeing a few weeks ago when OpenClaw came out, there was a security expert found that OpenClaw actually deleted all of their emails. So we'll see how well that's working. But yeah, there's a real shift and a push within Meta for staff to embrace AI in whatever ways possible, particularly with agents.
It's interesting because, as I mentioned in my introduction, Dr. Karen, that Meta is about to overtake Google when it comes to ad revenue. This is still a company, despite everything with the metaverse and everything that they do, still heavily reliant on a community organisation taking out an ad on Facebook, essentially.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Ad revenue is what really powers it. It really is. And yeah, I just don't know any other form of income that is going to power it at this stage.
All right, well, Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon has revealed the bank's deep collaboration with Anthropic to combat cybersecurity risks posed by the advanced Mythos AI model. We've obviously been watching what's been happening with Anthropic, so many governments and organisations scrambling to get a hold of this new system, which apparently can, I believe, detect bugs that is usually utilised by, well, cyber terrorists out there to gain access to organisations. What do we know?
Well, I think the alarm was really raised because Mythos completed a 32-step cyber attack simulation, and it was successful 30% of the time. And apparently this sort of process would take days for an expert to be able to do it, and Mythos polished it off 30% of the time successfully in a much faster rate than a person doing it with super expertise in that area could do. So I think that's the issue, and that's the worry at this stage.
It's interesting that Goldman's is getting involved here as well. How do we know how they're actually working with Anthropic to mitigate these sorts of risks?
Oh, not really. I think they're meeting with the UK AI Security Institute and the Treasury Secretary in the US as well, just to come together and talk about how they're going to manage this. I mean, Mythos is not public yet. And I think Anthropic was really clear that it's going to hold on to it as long as possible. But yeah, I think there is huge worries in the financial sector and a lot of other sectors as well.
Because they're copying it from all sides. On the one side, there's the cybersecurity aspect. We've seen it with Australia's banks as well, and even airlines like Qantas have had it too. But then there's the AI threat, the threat of AI to these big organisations, that AI can essentially do what these banks have been charging so much money for.
Then you get the case of AI fighting against AI, because even with all of the sort of measures in place that are AI powered, AI is developing so quickly, so it's very hard to keep these security measures up. And the fact that Mythos could find, I think I read somewhere, it was like a vulnerability in one system that was like over 20 years old, and it managed to find that, which means that humans and other computer programs could not find it in all of that time. So while it could actually work to help strengthen, it can also help to hack into as well.
And talk to us about the investments Goldman's is making to enhance cyber and infrastructure resilience, and maybe not just them, but all organisations out there. They're being told to focus on cyber and infrastructure resilience. Can you give us an idea, what does that actually mean? Because if we talk about a building and securing a building, we think about security guards or bigger fences or touchscreen or Face ID, things like that. But when it comes to guarding against AI, guarding against these bad actors, do we know what can be done?
Look, I'm not a cybersecurity expert, but I know that this is a booming area of business and investment from organisations, and even in the university sector with the courses and degrees, where those sorts of degrees are booming right now, because it's an area that expertise is going to be needed more and more as we see the technology evolve. And so I think it's really a matter of just trying to keep up with things, which is really, really difficult, and making sure that everything is secure, but also looking ahead to see what AI keeps developing and the tech keeps developing. And it's really hard to know, it's really hard to look around corners, but making sure that you're there and ready and having these experts on hand is the most important thing for all organisations.
Yeah, and obviously we're watching Mythos quite closely to see how it compares with previous models, but we'll leave it there for now. Dr. Karen Sutherland from the University of the Sunshine Coast, appreciate your insights and your time. Thank you.